and when they. The main minutes are available there, if anybody want to take a look at it, I will entertain a motion.
So move. Second.
Room second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, good. Then the treasurer's report, let's take a look at the May financials.
All right, so you got the liabilities and net assets, haven't changed a lot. Let me go to the spreadsheet, if you will. We had income from our CDs unusual of 2420. And we had, income on our checking account of 3889. For a total of $2,459.81 in revenue. You'll see $1,345.98 operating expenses. And break that down to our lawyer, which is $1,269 costs. $33.98 for Evergy, $38 for QuickBooks, and $5 from the bank to do the paperwork. And that is it. Any of your questions? Entertain motion to approve the funds, so
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah, good. One thing did come out of the LCPC meeting last week was, technically we're operating at about a 30 deficit. And we shan't forget that. It's something like that's one thing, so they talked about our reserves and everything.
Yeah.
It'll be decreased.
Yeah.
Significant amount. Yes. Very tight, but fortunately we have the money to operate. So let's not forget that. It doesn't show it on here, but it's quite clear that we're down $30,000. Okay, any said mutual CD maturities, any comment on that?
that'll be, next month.
Next month? Okay. All right, guess you're up.
Okay, thank you. Who did the motion and the
Chris and that.
David and, thank you. Oh, Chris and David.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Projects and leads, we've had a little bit of a slowdown from the first quarter. That's pretty typical. As new project activity just for the summer time, 7 months. Project Kansan, this was a manufacturer interested in an existing facility. Obviously, we don't have one that's ready, 75,000 to 100,000 square foot. So we did not submit, and we reported it in our chart on the back for requests for existing buildings. Project Western is an existing company exploring options for either an existing or to build a 30,000 to 40,000 square foot facility. We're gathering options for that company right now and we'll be submitting soon. And Project Guard, this is a manufacturer looking for existing company with excess capacity and a partnership opportunity. It was specifically for injection molding, so we don't have anything that's ready for that kind of opportunity, so we did not submit. And then finally, Project Chinook, this was a client looking for 1,000 acres. We considered the Tailgate Ranch because it has about 1,000 left that is available, but we had too many unknowns on the utilities. We could not provide what they needed, so that was sure. On ongoing projects, the one main one is Project Bluestem. This is the data center that's looking at the southern part of Leavenworth County. And I was gonna just talk, I did go to their community event, is it last week? I went to that, so I was gonna share a little bit about that. But that is basically, we are really involved in the process of that. We're just looking for ways that we can provide facts for those type of developments. And that's, oh, and then obviously we have a Project Win. If you haven't seen it, that'll show up on this next month on my projects and leads, Project Mission. But I'll leave that to them so he can talk to about that one. So we're really excited about that. And then I think I don't know if you guys have seen this the board members, the newer look to this projects and needs. Our marketing company, the new one that we contracted with, has helped us kind of make this look a little nicer. And then we added another chart on the back, so you can see, we are keeping track of reasons that we don't submit, which we've always been doing. But we thought it would be a good idea for you guys to see some of the reasons that we don't submit. And then obviously the chart that shows where all these RFIs that we're receiving are coming from. Most of them are either, or especially from Kansas Commerce is where a lot of them come from. And then the next one would be KCAGC. And then we have the industrial building requests. So we're keeping track of the sizes of buildings that people ask for. And that way, in case we have extra money someday, we know what kind of building would probably sell quickest.
Lisa,
Yes.
quick question, just a point of clarification on the did not submit.
Mhm.
If there was a building, if they needed a available building and rail, does that count in here twice, or you just pick the most?
I think it's probably the most, what I will generally do is pick.
Okay, so it's
most
only-
important.
A project's only showing up in here one time.
Correct.
And then on the building size, let's say they'd say we're looking for a 150 to 250.
That is a question. I usually pick the biggest span, if you know.
But I guess my clarification is that only shows up here.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Other questions? Okay, other things I just wanted to report on. So in May, we went ahead and prepared and submitted funding requests from LCBC to the cities of Lansing, Leavenworth, and Tocantins. So we got those submitted. I'm sure I will be doing presentations before their city commission and council soon. And then on behalf of you all, the Port Authority, we prepared and submitted the funding request for the Port Authority. And I'm talking for 2027. I didn't mention that. And then, of course, I appeared with, along with Doug at the County Commission, Board of County Commission meeting to request those funds. And we don't know yet, of course. Other things that we did, another thing we did regarding funding is we've been continuing to work on our new fundraiser, which it's an event called the Play Shoot. We'll be doing that on June 25th. We have 8 teams. That is going to be really fun. And if you guys are interested, please let us know. We have 8 teams, so we have plenty, but we could use some more. We could use some more sponsors if anybody's looking for some opportunities. But even if you have never or are not used to shooting, we've got people that are willing to loan a gun.
That
And-
scares me.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm wearing this.
Some trained shooters that military trained, in fact, so people that are willing to be your guy, so. Let us know. We are excited that we've welcomed 2 interns. This, as you know, I think you were here at the last one, right? I think last month, or was it 2? Anyway, this is Summer. Summer is here for the summer, and she is at the University of St. Mary, so we're excited to have her. Then we also have Annie, who's not here today. She is working on some schoolwork. She's doing some summer classes and needs to take some tests, and she's with K-State. So she was with us during the winter holidays, and now she's back. So we're excited. I just feel like it's such a great opportunity for us to share opportunities for them, but I feel like we're learning just as much from them. So I think it's a great opportunity. They're doing some work that's going to help us. On top of some of the everyday operation type things, they also each have a summer long project, and they've got to kind of choose what that would be. Summer is doing a project in which she is collecting information about data center development and going to help us with a social media campaign to make sure we're sharing information that is factual. And then Annie is working on a list. She's trying to help us put together a list of target industries that we'll do a targeted marketing campaign towards. So really happy with this program.
One thing that Summer's also working on is updating the numbers of the employees on the website. So if you know of a contact that she can reach out to for somebody, please help us, because she's running into some brick walls trying to get information on employers and employees, so.
And that information is very helpful. a lot of times, when an RFI comes through, a request for information, that might be one of the questions is, what are the top 10 employers in your community and how many employees do they have? It's also data that just helps us in all different kinds of ways. KCADC, our Regional Economic Development Organization, asks us every year for those numbers as well. So there's several reasons that those numbers need to be updated every year. And it is. It's very time consuming, and some people are not really nice sometimes in wanting to know what in the heck are you trying to get this information from us. So yeah, it's.
So the city's housing study is up for approval tonight at the city commission. That draft housing study is on our website. It has all that information.
Oh, thank you.
The city's top employers.
Perfect, thank you.
I don't know if it's countywide, honestly.
Right,
It's
yeah,
come-
we can at least get.
When they growl, I should say, he gave you the number. That's what we did now.
Some final other things as far as business attractions, so, just been working on a lot of activity for, projects that are to help them move forward. Then I've gone to 2 different networking events in the Kansas City area in May. And from that, I gained a couple of, contacts, and I've had meetings with 2 of them, Arco Construction and CBiz. These are companies that are working with people that are working with companies that are looking to locate in different places. So we want to make sure that we keep Leavenworth County top of mind. And then also provided public comment during meetings of both the county's planning commission and the Board of County Commission meetings in support of the economic development impact that would come from Cobb Valley Company's project if it were to, which it did get voted, their special use was approved.
Yeah.
And then, we were trying to make sure that everything was ready to go. The press release for Project Mission, some of the final things, we've been working hard on that.
It was in here. Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say about Project Mission?
Actually, I was gonna simply say that the lot is sold and everything. Harlan's here. He probably has more of the details. Harlan, you wanna give us an update on Project Mission as it stands now, and thank the city of Leavenworth for getting everything done? I know the movement now is to build the buildings, and that's gotta go through the permitting process and everything. I'm sure Scott and Penny are gonna do everything they can to push that through. So Harlan, do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. They're at that point where they'll be making a planning submittal pretty soon, and go through that whole process for application. There was a kind of a pre-development meeting, I think a couple of weeks ago, where the city shared their expectations of the submittal, and there was nothing there that I would anticipate would be out of the ordinary. So it should hopefully travel through the planning and building permit approval process quickly.
How long does that take? Yeah, curiosity.
It depends entirely on what kind of comments come about of the site plan. So they are zoned appropriately. So there's no rezoning required or SUP or anything like that. And based on our initial review, we didn't see any major concerns, but until we see an actual building plan and site plan, we can't make those determinations. If it's all internal staff review, just a few weeks at most, that goes pretty quick. So
Yeah, it goes back to when we first talked to them, and certainly you backed me up on this, Brian. They were anxious to get it building up in a hurry.
Yeah.
Way back then. I'm frustrated, had to have it quicker, but I got used to the process. So anything we can do, LPA, LCDC, let us know. We can help that around.
yeah, again, as Harlan mentioned, we don't foresee any major hurdles. Can't guarantee anything until we see anything, but based on early conversations, I wouldn't be too concerned about it.
The only other thing, and it's probably just me, it's got an issue with it. What are we gonna do with that lot that we're buying back in Tonganoxie? We talked about it. I'm in support of purchasing the lot back rather than waiting. But we gotta decide what we wanna do. I mean, they got the time frame that they had to build a building on it and everything. We made a decision to buy it back, but when do we wanna do that? We put money in the fund to do that. Are we ready to take action on that? I'm not sure if it's gonna go smooth. I talked to somebody who, I won't bring up his name, but I talked to somebody who knows about the other 2 buildings that this gentleman had. They've got a bunch of cars in there, storage and everything, and are targeted it as a, barn dominium or a car dominium or something. But if you walk in there, they got some real nice cars. And none of them have any level license plates. So I don't want, that's not what we sold the buildings and the lots for in the first place. They're not generating any taxes, any money for Leavenworth County outside of property taxes. And I think we can forego the property taxes to get a lot back so we can sell something, bring it back, bring a business in and do that. That's my opinion. This is something as a board we have to decide on. So.
Well, I thought we already agreed to buy that back.
Yeah.
To take it.
I think the question was more when,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
cause I think we have until what day, December of this year is the end of the 2 years.
It's for the other
That
one.
was for the other one. We did agree to wait on the other lot. the other
Okay,
hand.
I'm getting confused. You're
Yeah.
talking about the one that was the IST.
Yeah, we started if
Yeah.
we call the IC one, we started it early because we figured. we
Yeah.
were gonna have a-
Okay, yeah, different conversation then. Never mind.
But yeah, if you want me to go ahead and pursue that process, I will absolutely do that.
Yeah, I think we'd already decided.
So we get back, so we can.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting it, but I'm not sure he's gonna give it up, it's all, but. We got a pretty good case.
Oh, yeah, no, it's, and then as far as the other one, yeah, I think yours was, he's still paying taxes on it down there and everything, think about it like that.
But there's no more jobs in there. I go by it every day.
Yeah.
It's just cars.
No, and I think about in my mind, I think about the landscaping business that's essentially located right next door. And one of Mr. Lynch's lots, when everything we got done showed that, okay, he wants a cheap lot, but it's gonna be a person and a half is all they're gonna hire realistically. And that just isn't enough to warrant this kind of lot. So, okay. Yes, you're next, sir, then. Okay. There we go. Let's see here, regional transportation plan, Bill is gone or absent today. Has somebody else got some information?
No, I don't, Bill, he got a hold of me, he got to leave in Kansas City, so he apologizes. I thumped him, he'll be here next time.
We got spoiled for a long time with.
Yeah.
Our affiliated partners then. Go around the room, whatever. George, you're on?
All right, thanks. Not a ton of updates. We're in the middle of our budget process. Just like everyone else is, just trying to shore up our base assumptions from county staff. Infrastructure projects continue. We have two main road projects we're working on, actual construction, Front Street and Ridge Street. And nice project there for the community because it completes some connectivity with sidewalks and trails that didn't exist before. Wastewater treatment plant, doubling the capacity of that's staying on track. Another big project for us. And then probably the biggest one is our 14th Street design project. It's a $600,000 design project. We're almost a quarter of the way through with that. Design should be done by the end of the year, but what that really does is it opens up 200 to 300 acres of ground, connecting 2440 kind of on the south side of town to the middle school and grade school campus. And we've got a lot of development interest in that. And we're just about out of platted residential lots. So we don't want to be too far behind Baser in the county and building houses, as there seems to be a ton of interest still in the area. So, and then, we're taking lots of questions and public comments at our meetings over the Project Blue Stem. And so obviously we have interest because it is literally on the other side of existing city limits. We've used a lot of funding from a variety of partners to extend utilities in that area. And so we just think it would make a lot of sense if the project would move forward, that annexation would be part of that discussion, but we understand that not everybody's on that same page. So anyway, that's it. Thanks.
Go to sleep. Hello, Josh.
Sorry about that. I didn't hear you say anything. Cut out just at the right time, I guess. Let's see. We are working on our comp plan. Recently, we quadrupled the amount of engagement that we had with the proposals, or not the proposals, the survey for the community, which was great to hear. Just heard that this morning. And then we have a RFQ out for a housing project on city land right next to the Aquatic Center. That will is due on the 2nd of July. And then we have our Independence Day celebration on the 3rd. And I think that's about it.
Sure. Building permit activity remains strong in the city. We've got 55 single-family house permits going right now and 33 multifamily. Also, we just hired a new Parks and Rec director, so we've got all of our summer recreation series going. Some of that is on every third Thursday in the summer. We have a concert that's free to the public. It's up at the Civic Campus. We always have food trucks and some pretty good concerts. Just bring your chairs or your blankets and enjoy. Also on Saturday, June 20th, we're gonna have our first event called Golf-ish. And it's like miniature golf. And so if you want to come and play some mini golf, we've got that going on. Also, we just had our first fishing derby in the pond that we created on the Civic Campus, and it was called Whales and Scales. And it was really a great time to see all the kids out there fishing and having a good time. Also, we rented a street sweeper, and so we just finished our first time going citywide with our street sweeper and kind of cleaning our streets. Also, we're getting ready to start with crack sealing efforts, and then we'll begin replacing curbs and performing mill and overlay work as part of our paving for progress here pretty soon. And other than that, I think that's kind of where we are right now, so thank you.
When does the, out of curiosity,
Sure.
since I live in Bay Shore, when does the roundabout on 155th start?
Yeah, so we've got that in the development phase right now. So, and that'll be at 155th and Wolf Creek Parkway. Because as you've probably seen, we've got a lot of dirt moving in that commercial area over there. So we want to get that roundabout in to be ready to welcome new businesses to town.
Obviously, you couldn't do that till the other one down by the school is done, because then that traps everybody, right?
Yeah, so yeah, and then hopefully that 158th and parallel will be finished by the end of July. So we're waiting on KDOT to get a completion date on that one, since it was a grant funded effort. So I know we're anxious to get that one back open, and I'm sure everybody in town is too, so.
I'm not sure how frustrated, and Scott, you probably know more than anybody else does, there's stop at 20th and Spruce now is, you can go north-south, but you can't go east-west, right?
Well, today the intersection was wide open. I didn't see anybody there, but yeah, when it is closed, it'll be open for north-south traffic and not east-west traffic. Throughout, my understanding is throughout the whole construction, it'll be that way, so.
You're up, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I got an email from, well, actually, a few weeks ago, I got an email from KCATA planning specialist. They're gonna do a planning sustainable places grant for the county for a transportation study. The email was sent to all of the various city and county managers, so hopefully everybody else is more on top of it than I am, but they need those letters of support by the end of this week, so various organizations, check that email. On the press release for Thacker, we already received a number of questions on what it is they actually do. I'm wondering if we could put some updated information together in light of, a lot of the fear out there regarding other, industrial uses on, this doesn't create emissions, here's what they do, they don't take up a lot of resources. Maybe nip that in the bud before people get all fired up.
Where do you think the best avenue for that information?
Probably just worth us having a conversation offline about that. Maybe an updated press release or just somewhere on a website that we can all share to our various social medias. And, the point is, this is a great project. It is not going to generate, any issues with our environment, with our infrastructure.
Right.
It really is kind of the ideal candidate. They haven't asked for any incentives, knock on wood, nobody give them any ideas on that. So they're paying full property tax, like it's really a win-win, and I think that getting that information out will help with calming the waters before they get stirred up too much. And we've all talked about the misinformation that gets out there. Once it gets out of control, you can't pull it back. Maybe I've already gotten emails, the mayor's already gotten emails about like, hey, I live nearby, what is this? Am I gonna be breathing toxic air or whatever? It's like, no, you won't be, so.
Maybe we reach out to Thacker and ask them. what they'd like for us to say, or what they'd like to say about their business.
I think that'd be good, just so, and that way we can all share it together and be on the same page on it as, again, huge win. Thank you, everybody, for your help with that.
But I think you're right. I don't think it was clear when you read the press release exactly what they do. But it's great to have them come in there, so I think clearing that up.
Please do not, nobody take that as, criticism or anything like that. This is a huge win
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to clear that up. Construction, as you all know, as we just discussed, 20th and Spruce, should be starting here soon. We closed 10th and Limit yesterday, and as you can expect, the residents are not happy. But we will deal with that. In the end, it'll be a good project and we'll be happy with that. Just a lot of street work going on around town, so apologize for the inconvenience at the time being, but in the end, it'll be better off. And then finally, the aforementioned housing study. We have our study session tonight, so I guess it's not being approved tonight, but City Commission will provide their guidance on it. I personally am really pleased with the results of it. I thought it was really well done by Baker Tilly. They did a lot. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, put it by your bedside table because it's very information dense. But I'll save you all the worry. Yes, they do recommend our HID, especially in our downtown corridor and things like that. So I think it will help develop some better policies for the city on housing moving forward. I thought they had some great recommendations. There was nothing in there that we didn't already really know, but now it's in an official document with data to support it. So that's tonight. So feel free to either attend or watch, see that presentation. And as I mentioned, that draft is on our website in the agenda packet for tonight. It's public information. Feel free to read it, share it, whatever you want. That's all I got.
Mike?
Just a couple, and we're on the budget, doing a good job, by the way, presenting the budget to us. The roof, we're on the second half of the roof, $6 million or $5 million project. They'll be starting some more. It's going to be another 8 months at least before they complete that. And the only other thing I've been dealing with since dinosaur days is the data centers. And we've been having a packed house every Wednesday, people coming in mainly against it, but some for it. So we've been trying to get information out, but 6-hour meetings, guys, I'm just too old for that anymore. So we've got another one tomorrow about the revenue it would generate for everybody. Counties and cities and things like that. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes, but that's where we're at.
Well, I guess I would offer some of the discussion we had at the LCPC meeting last week, and that was that much like the prison situation with ICE, where most of the people who complained against it were in fact from out of the community. I'm sure it's county commissioners, you're aware of that, when you're ready to have a 3-hour session with all the people that are supporting it, let me know. But coming down there just to start a fight in the hallway with the people who are obviously against it, serves no purpose.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when I have to bring deputies up there to keep everybody calm.
So we're in deference to you as a member of our committee as well. That's not a fighting thing. You tell us you want us down there.
Yeah.
In mass, which we will gladly show up for. The damn thing from our standpoint does nothing but pay property taxes.
Well, what I try to do is I'm push for a moratorium for 3 months just to calm everything down, get the information out. Last week, a couple of county commissioners wanted to drop it. And I thought that would just stir the pot because right now we're getting really some good information. I went out to visit something like that. So, and there's more stuff coming out and there's a lot of stuff being thrown out there. It's false. And there's a lot of truth saying all it's half truths. But as I told them when I first started on this, and I'm still up in the air on it, to be honest, when I started this, was the property tax. We can't get the state to reduce anything for us right now. So this may be the only avenue to get the property tax down. And it's a big player, especially down south. But we'll see how that plays out.
No, and I would reemphasize what you just said, since we have some time here. Leavenworth County is kind of an outlier. Over 90% of our property taxes come from rooftops.
Yeah.
A healthy economy would be 70%.
So
In Leavenworth, I would argue it should be 60% because we have such a state and federal footprint that doesn't pay any taxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes down to operating the county, raises and everything, the only people they can get money from are rooftops. And we can't afford to keep doing that. We certainly can't compete on that.
I want to say too, on a different note, I don't know if y'all realize, But the post decided not to use our EMS anymore. And I was sorry to hear that, see it, because to me, that's kind of special when you get called, and we still respond, don't get me wrong. And we're gonna be looking at a, memorandum of understanding, so we can say, I'm not gonna tell us EMS can't show up there. The problem with it is, what they're gonna do, what they're looking at is not the people that can give you medicine, or give you CPR, or put IVs in your thing, and that really concerns me. So I'm hoping it soon, but I don't know if that'll happen in my watch, we'll be able to come together and but it's two people just horns, and I wasn't able to, you know, I'm known for compromising when I do business, I just wasn't able to get that done, so we'll see how that plays out.
Well, I feel bad for Cubby. I know he worked, Commissioner Cuthbertson worked real hard on that and felt like the rug was pulled out underneath him, I'm sure.
Well, it was, and when they went to him and they had all the conversations, they didn't like to answer, so they asked me to set up, so I got with the Garrison Commander. And we basically told the same thing, but we got it down from $1 million to 365,000 to be able to serve you. And they said they'd do that, but we'd have to put in an EMS located on post. And the way we got them set up, we just can't do that. There's response times where you get to go, and right now, we have hard enough time getting people there, and then if you have to be transferred, you know, KU or wherever, it even takes a little longer. They did up there, Fort Riley, and up there, they went from having to pay, like, on the table was gonna pay $1 million, they ended up doing their own, and it tripled that. So it's a win-win to come back to the table and get this fixed. But I don't know, I'm gonna get it underneath my watch, so we'll see.
I suppose the bad news here, I guess I could share, frustrating, we don't have enough information. The CMOP program is now staffing in Lenexa. So, and going to put a bow on it, it means we will have access to that building eventually. I don't know how soon yet, we can't get any information out of them in that particular regard. But the fact they're staffing pharmacists and support staff down in Lenexa now at their new building, just they've got equipment up and running, and this will be at some point. Their lease runs out, of their yearly lease is December. So I would say they'd be there at least that long, but after that, we at least have a building market, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I missed out on it, because I'm old and I'm slow, but did they ever come back to us and want to increase the size? Did I miss out on that? Was there any kind of negotiation to keep that here?
That was,
Before me, but I do remember discussions occurring that both Paul, I think Kramer and Steve, I think they went to DC, if I'm not mistaken, does anybody? And they went to try and, lead. And it's the powers that be just.
And it happens, I know.
Made the decision.
I just couldn't recall.
to move.
it was a political move that happened long before we ever had a chance to come to the table.
Political couple now.
It's unfortunate, the idea, and having been involved in CMOP for all those years, the idea that they can hire cheaper people in Johnson County is absolutely crazy. And the bad part is the support staff, all the technicians, the 300 or so support staff. They're, for what they're paying, they're not gonna drive down there, so it's a loss of job for Lincoln County.
Yeah.
So,
But if you look at our building request chart, I think we're gonna have to be able to help find somebody to fill that as soon as it's empty. In fact, I've got somebody
That's
that would
nice,
be
yeah.
interested in looking now, I just can't reach anybody.
whether they had 350 jobs or not, it's a different question.
True, absolutely.
So, I hate to be Debbie Downer at the end of the meeting, but
You're right.
this question's been hanging over us for about 4 years now, so. Unless there's anything else from anybody else, I will entertain a motion. So short as things are over.
Joe, maybe sit down.
I'll take a motion.
Second. And,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I did.
Thanks, everybody, as usual. He'll be running the meeting next month. I'll be out in the country in Scotland.